Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast News with the Sentinel. I'm Moinitam. And straight to the top stories in today morning's The Sentinel. First, it's about the plasma donors in Assam. 421 people have so far donated plasma, and this is data till August 23rd. This is data as per the National Health Mission Assam. So there are two positive developments as far as coronavirus scenario in the state is concerned. Of course, the cases continue to rise, but there is some silver lining out there. One, of course, is that there has been a very good response of people donating plasma. And also the other positive news here is that the doubling time of COVID-19 cases in Assam is also gradually increasing. Plasma is donated only by the cured COVID-19 patients who were earlier found to be symptomatic. And what doubling time refers to is that it refers to the rate at which the coronavirus cases double on a day-wise basis. So here, of course, let me also run you through the latest numbers as far as the positive cases, the number of active cases are there in Assam. As far as the total positive cases are concerned, it is 92,619. The number of active cases stands at 19,274. The number of discharged patients or recoveries stands at 73,090. Deaths have gone up to 252. But the fact that already 421 people have donated plasma. In fact, it was just yesterday, many of the journalists, this was an initiative taken by the Guwahati Press Club. They also donated plasma. Quite a few of them, in fact, had donated plasma. And many people, many COVID patients who have now been cured have come forward to donate. And according to the National Health Mission Assam's data, 421 people have already donated plasma till August 23rd. So it's actually a very, very good news there. Now, moving on to some national news. Chief of Defense Staff General Bipin Rawat said on Monday that if diplomatic talks with China over the border issue fail, then military options are on the table. Here is what the Chief of Defense Staff General Bipin Rawat said, and I quote, "The military option to deal with the transgressions by the Chinese is still on, but will be considered only if the talks at the diplomatic and military level fail," unquote. He, however, refused to share what military options India is looking upon. Now, the Chinese People's Liberation Army, or the PLA, troops are still sitting at various disputed and friction points along the line of actual control. They have refused to disengage since mid-July and have started construction work on those disputed junctions. Apart from that, they have been raising unacceptable points before India. So, in fact, to deal with the situation, Defense Minister Mr. Rajnath Singh on Saturday held a meeting with National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and the top military brass to discuss the situation at the border with China. Talks between India and China remain deadlocked. So that worry continues for India. Of course, militarily, India is absolutely well positioned, and India has been building up the equipments and necessary military build up there is ongoing as far as India is concerned, along the entire line of actual control and along the entire stretch of India-China border. So in fact, the first 5 Rafale also has landed in the country. Coming back to Assam, this is about the floods. A central team, a 6-member central team, is expected to arrive in Assam tomorrow to assess the damage caused by the monsoon floods that affected 57 lakh people and killed at least 113 between May 22nd and August 20, official sources informed on Monday. Assam's Revenue Department Commissioner cum Secretary M.S. Manivanan said that the central team led by Sandeep Pondre, Joint Secretary Mitigation, National Disaster Management Authority, would visit some flood-affected districts to assess the damage to property, crops, and various other assets, including river dams. Here is what the official had said. During the 3-day visit to the state, the central team would hold meetings with senior officials of the Assam government and Disaster Management Authority. He added that the Assam government has sent an interim flood damage report to the center and has demanded around 2,300 crore rupees as compensation for the tragedy. So the central team expected tomorrow to assess the damages caused by the recent monsoon floods across the state. Moving back to some more national news, Sonia Gandhi would continue as the interim chief of the Congress party. This was decided at the Congress Working Committee meeting that was held yesterday. In fact, it was a marathon meeting and a lot of high drama witnessed in that Congress Working Committee meeting. The loyalists have turned the tables on the dissenters as the CWC has decided that Sonia Gandhi will continue as interim party chief till a new president is elected, and the next meeting will be called in 6 months. So there was in fact a letter that was written by some of the senior Congress leaders, and that is how this particular meeting was held yesterday. Many within the Congress actually did not like the timing of that particular letter, because at this point of time, the party, of course, we all know what has been happening in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh. They are up against BJP. Of course, Manipur is another thing, that another political incident that the Congress has been up against the BJP. So a lot of things happening politically speaking, and amid that, a letter like that coming up and seeking a change at the top brass was something that many of the senior Congress leaders did not appreciate. But in fact, interestingly, it's actually some of the senior Congress leaders who had shot that letter, and the meeting was held yesterday. Of course, within the Congress party, many actually want Rahul Gandhi to come back. So a lot of pulls there from different into different ways, a lot of things happening as far as the Congress party is concerned, but really critical for Congress to take a decision, given the fact that there are many of the states where the assembly elections are scheduled. Two of them, of course, is Bihar and Assam. And of course, there are many more states. So, and even otherwise, supposed to be the grand old party, and it definitely needs to put its kind of get its house in order. Moving back to Assam, and in fact, it was a very happy day for people of Guwahati yesterday. It got its much awaited ropeway across the River Brahmaputra. This is a 2-kilometer long ropeway and the tramway. It was inaugurated by the state's Finance, Health and Education Minister, Mr. Himanta Biswa Sharma. This particular, in fact, the ropeway, it will take barely 8 minutes for anybody traveling between South Guwahati and North Guwahati to commute. The service now is open from 8 in the morning till 6 p.m. And for a one-way ticket, it would cost you 60 rupees. And if you want to do a to and fro, it would cost you 100 rupees. In fact, there are at least 58 CCTV cameras which have been set up to keep an eye round the clock on the ropeway system. Of course, the number of passengers, though these particular cabins that you see on your screen can accommodate up to 30, in fact, up to 35 people. But because of the COVID situation, because of the protocol that needs to be followed, social distancing and hygiene protocol to be followed, therefore, the government has decided that for now, the number of passengers to be allowed in those cabins will be really less, keeping in mind all the COVID protocols. But yes, a very, very happy day for all the people of Assam, in fact, and particularly for people living in North Guwahati and South Guwahati. There you can see the finance minister of Assam. There's the MP, Lok Sabha MP from Guwahati, Queen Oja. There's the GDD minister, Siddhartha Bhattacharya. In fact, interestingly, the work for this particular ropeway began when Himanta Biswa Sharma was the GDD minister, and the work for this particular project started way back in 2006. The entire ropeway is built at a cost of 56 crore rupees. And just imagine the sight that you will see once you are on one of those cabins taking a ride from either North Guwahati to Guwahati or from Guwahati side to North Guwahati. Beautiful across the mighty river Brahmaputra. Beautiful scenes await you there. Now let's move on to Dibru Saikwa. Of course, these places have been in the news of late. Dibru Saikwa, Bagjan, Dihing Patkai, all environment-related issues, lot of coal mining activities going on, lot of drilling activities going on. Now, here, a division bench of the Guwahati High Court has directed Oil India chairman and the director, Corporate Office, Noida, and Oil India General Manager, Duliajan in Assam to reply to the petition on oil and gas exploration in Dibru Saikwa National Park. State Forest Department's counsel, P.N. Goswami, who represented the Principal Secretary of the Environment and Forest Department and the Principal Chief Conservator of Forest and State Board of Wildlife Chairman and Assistant Solicitor General of India, S.C. Kayal, who appeared for the Union of India, and the Union Secretary to the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, have also been asked to file replies on behalf of the respondents by September 21, 2020. This is related to the oil and gas exploration being done by Oil India Limited in Dibru Saikwa National Park. We all know what is going on in Bagjan. We all know what's been going on in Dibru Saikwa. Of course, that is what I just mentioned to you about the PIL. There are a lot of cases pending before the High Court as far as the Bagjan incident is concerned. The clearances that has been given to Oil India. In fact, there are some ONGC issues as well related to drilling, and Dihing Patkai issue is also there. Dihing Patkai is related to coal mining being done by public sector unit Coal India. Moving on to news from the other northeastern states. The far-flung, this is news from Arunachal Pradesh, the far-flung tribal village of Chulyu in Arunachal Pradesh will soon be bustling with spinning and weaving activities, with the Khadi and Village Industries Commission, or KVIC, all set to open the first of its kind training cum production center of silk in the state. Conceived just 6 months ago, the center will be launched in the first week of September, and the first batch of 25 local artisans of Chulyu village has been selected to begin the training. The KVIC has refurbished and converted a dilapidated school building into the training cum production center. The school building has been provided to the KVIC by the Education Department of Arunachal Pradesh government on zero rent. So really very good news for all the artisans there, for the silk industry of Arunachal Pradesh. Now, a little bit of update from the states of Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya on the coronavirus cases there. The total number of cases, positive cases in Arunachal Pradesh has gone up to 3,263. The number of active cases stands at 961. Recovery rate further improving in Arunachal Pradesh to 70.39%. The death toll remains at 5. And 40 new cases have been reported in the last 24 hours. 17 security personnel have tested positive. Of the 40 new cases, 17 are security personnel who have tested positive for the coronavirus. Moving to Meghalaya, the state has registered 59 new COVID patients. The number of active cases stands at 1,179, and the number of recoveries stand at 789. of course, the number of cases continue to rise across Northeast. In fact, Tripura, the numbers have gone beyond the 8,000 mark. Manipur, also the numbers have gone up. Every state across Northeast registering higher positive cases, but recovery rate too in most of the states now getting better. That's all I have for all of you this morning. Thank you so much for joining me. Till we meet again, do log in to our website sentinelassam.com for all the other news and updates. Do follow us and look for all our stories. You'll find all our stories and updates, our video stories as well, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Till we meet again, it's a goodbye from all of us here in the Sentinel Assam. And take care, stay safe.